Alright, hi folks, we're here playing in a Pauper League with Matron Control. We're on the play, deciding whether we want to play first. Of course we're going to say yes. And here we have a hand that's very close to a mulligan. In fact, I think we should mulligan with the 5 lands here. So we're going to go down to 6, and this looks pretty terrible. I don't think we can win with this hand, so we're going to have to go to 5 now. And this one we can keep. Looks pretty good. We're going to keep a removal spell, just presume that the opponent's playing creatures. That's a fairly reasonable assumption. And some kind of annoying graveyard dredge tortured existence thing, it looks like. So we'll see how we do against that. I think we've got a decent shot here. He's got one of the newer cards, Vessel. So we're just going to Divination. He's actually Abzan. So let's see. Come on now. Okay, so we're making up for that mulligan, that's for sure. So it's good to see. So, okay. Right. So his opening's not great. I think we could do a number of things. I mean, we could just kill the guy. Playing Matron might be good. I don't know what I want with the Matron. I would end up just getting another Matron or like a Tarfire. We have the Terminate. Let's just Flame Slash this turn. I'm not sure what I want to do otherwise, so I'm going to leave the options open. You're going to notice I'm probably going to make more mistakes with this deck than usual. Alright, so now we get to see... Alright, he's got quite an engine here. He's going to have infinite vessels and font of returns and stuff. So I would assume he's got to take this. No, he doesn't. He takes the Bajuka Bog. Okay. So here, I think either of these plays is reasonable. I mean, we do want to hit lands. Still not sure what to get with the Matron. I think I will just try and get my land drops. Also fills up the graveyard. So, okay, we do. So let's just leave up Think Twice and Terminate. And we are behind by a full minute, which is disgusting. Okay, that resolves. Sadly. It's going to be a tough one. He took the swamp. Alright, there's going to be some dredge guy coming out, but that's kind of alright. I mean, he can get it back pretty easily, so. But we're not just going to sit there and let it live. Okay, he's not doing anything. Guess he's going to pick something up. Alright, we're going to have to pull ahead on time because it's the only way we can really get out of this. So I'm going to double Matron here. I think I'm going to get a War and Pilferers just to get back more value. We really got to move faster. So Matron for Matron. Matron for War and Pilferers. I mean, we could get an Edict, but I think Pilferers is better value. And maybe one of the ways we win is by having a board position that he can't keep up with. You know, our removal's finite and he can keep getting the guys back. But if we have removal backed by big attacks on the ground, then maybe we can do something with it. So he got the Carrion Feeder back. Now he's dredging. So 5 lands is pretty decent amount to get stuff going. So now he's going to like Mesmeric Fiend me. Yeah. And I forgot to say good luck, but... So we're going to lose Gurmag Angler almost for sure. Maybe he'll take Pilferers. Seems like the only options, really. And he can do this. He took Pilferers, okay. He can do this over and over again. So long as I don't terminate the carrion feeder in response. So I can get, let's see, if I hold off on the terminate, I sack this, I can do, I don't actually think I can do Angler yet. I don't want to tap out for it because he's just going to feed me again. Alright, so we have to wait here. Got a lot of black. We just got to leave up the terminate, sadly. Yeah, so we're just going to pass here. So he's just going to get Mesmeric Fiend back. So when he casts the Fiend, I'm going to want to kill the carrion feeder. We're coming much closer on time here. So now he has to take the terminate. Oh, he took the Mole Drifter. So Auramancer is going to resolve. Yeah, there's really no way we can win this unless we just win with time. I don't think we can win game one. It's kind of a weird case here. So I think we can almost do both of these things. Now we definitely can. Leave the think twice where it is. And now he's got some problems on his hands. He can do a bunch of other stuff, but I mean, we still have this board position, so that's at least something going for us. Here's Vessel again. It's funny because it gets to such a point. Oh, he can madness this. So what did he didn't take that. He took the Guild Gate. Okay. And now, okay, Carrion Feeder again. So I'm gonna draw. I'm playing a little bit fast. Oh, I guess I should have sacked first. But honestly, I think we're winning this on time and damage, so we have a counter spell now, so we got to be kind of careful how we use it, but dredging. So he's going to eventually run the risk of maybe milling himself. He's got all these Auramancers. He's got not a lot of card advantage. I mean, that Auramancer can kind of do that. Yeah, that's fine. We don't care so much about the enablers. His graveyard's gonna be full no matter what because of the dredge guys. Okay, so now he's just passing, so he must have some kind of madness creature, but we do have a counter spell, so I'm not entirely afraid of that. My internet's kind of laggy and bad, but hopefully that's not impacting the viewer experience too much. Let's go ahead and get in. I know a creature's coming. There's no way he just sits there. But we have counterspell, so we're going to hope for the best. Okay. So he picked up Recluse. Trying to go faster. So we are ahead on time now. We've just won the war. Counterspell. I guess that's some kind of cool combat trick he can do. Counter it. Hit him for 1,000,000. So this doesn't have reach, right? It's a 2/4. Kind of like death touches type of thing. It's like Stinkweed Imp. Okay, so he's going to start doing some nasty things with Tusker, and he's looking for something like Crypt Rats. He's really trying to find that. Okay, got the Swamp. So he can just do this again, right? Oh, he doesn't have... Yeah, he's got the black for it. So I guess I just have to attack with the Mole Drifter now. I mean, no, we can't attack these into a 2/4. I'm almost cool with the Recluse, but... Okay, we're starting to get a time advantage here, so let's hopefully exacerbate that, compound that. He now has a Grave Scrabbler, so this is going to get pretty gross for us. But he's going to start dwindling down on the clock. These kind of matchups, they're not depressing, but in a way they really take a lot of the traditional Magic out of Magic. When you're talking about MTGO, the clock, the functionality of some of this stuff. Like, I can't really waste time trying to think about what's going on. So now he's a creature with reach. I'm just going to load up on all the Matrons I can, and I guess eventually get an Edict, which doesn't do a lot for me, but it's kind of like whatever. Oh, I could get Goblin War Marshal, or Mog War Marshal. Yeah, maybe that's better. That seems better. So these are the kind of late game chains you can get with a Goblin Matron. And obviously, I mean, do we want to trade this for 2 of his guys? Not really. But this game's basically going nowhere. I mean, he actually is likely to mill himself at this rate. We'll see how much value he can get. He may start just sacking this to try and get a better board position. But right now, he's kind of... I don't know what he's doing. He doesn't really have a way to punch through. Okay, so he always takes the land. That's interesting. It's an interesting default, you know? He just has this thing where he'll always take the land and put all the guys in the yard. I never thought of that. That actually is probably incorrect a good deal of the time. But at this point, we just have to wait him out, is what it's looking like. And we have a good chance of doing that if he doesn't have Crypt Rats. Okay, so he has another Grave Scrabbler. He's picking up... I don't know what. Almost doesn't matter. Stinkweed Imp. We're at 24. I mean, he's got no attacks for a very long time. And he's behind on the clock, so... Don't hate our position right now. Just waiting on this guy. I gotta check and make sure we're not disconnected. That's gonna be a huge problem if we are. Okay. Okay, just F6. No attacks. We're not trying to win this game conventionally anymore. We're just trying to let him deck. It's going to be tough because, I mean, he can create a pretty great board position over time. Just F6. I don't know why he's even concerned with his life total at all. He should not be making moves to do that. He needs to try and win. Stinkweed Imp, I mean, he doesn't have enough turns to kill me with that. Not that he ever would be able to, I'm just saying. What is this? We just have to dwindle his board as much as we can and try not to die. Oh, that's pretty good. At the same time, I'm just a Flame Slash away. Alright, we'll see what happens with that. It's looking like maybe he'll get some hits in with that, but probably not enough. He would technically need to hit me, what, 8 times, 9 times with that? And as much as he's been dredging, if he continues to do so, that's going to cut that. Okay, he's no longer dredging. That kind of makes sense. He's just gaining life? No, he's dryading. Okay. Well, that's going to make things real tough. He can just get a bunch of dryad stuff. Oh, that's really interesting. Yeah, that's going to make things tough because we're out of terminates. And Flame Slash now falls short. And now we have to eat 5. Yeah, that's not pleasant. And we're like soaking up so many lands. At the same time, we're set to probably kill him with time. It really just depends here. Okay, I'm going to take it again. Could also maybe find deep analysis for him, but for now I'm just going to do this. There's really nothing else to do. Oh, he's just going to put the dryads on the thing. Yeah, I mean, that's legitimate. So I use both terminates, yeah. Yeah, that's going to suck for us. So now he's getting a little wiser. Yeah, this is what he should have been doing the whole time. This kind of stuff. Getting the card advantage, getting the counters on. And that's really how you do it. This actually might be tough. I mean, he's got plenty of time to finish us in another game. And we don't have a lot of answers to this kind of Voltroning. We basically have Nihil Spellbomb for this matchup. We could bring in another Chainer's Edict. And they don't always get so consistent. I mean, he had Tortured Existence very early on. We'll see. I mean, he had his colors consistent, so there's a lot of ways for synergy decks like this to stumble. And yeah, I mean, this is really eating up his clock. If we can get him down to like less than 10 minutes, which is probably not happening, but if we can, that would just be really fantastic. Mesmeric Fiend. Okay. And that was all on the end step. Oh boy. Okay. Just sending that, so I'll just take it. Oh boy. Really, the flood is unsavory. It's just really leaving a bad taste in my mouth. So he's probably going to finish this game fairly shortly. We may get him down to 12 minutes, but it's looking more like, if I had to guess, 12 and a half. I mean, it's only a couple swings away from that stinkweed imp doing the trick. But if we can kill it, if we can Mole Drifter into Tarfire, double block, I think, oh boy. Well now, that looks like that's going to be game. Oh, that's an interesting play. There has to be a way he could do that just to kill, right? Yeah, that's basically what he's doing. So I get a chump block with that token, and that's about it. Wow, he got really efficient here. This isn't this guy's first rodeo. He's definitely been playing this deck a bit. Yeah, we're dead. So we're going to chump block the Carrion Feeder. I think we could Mole Drifter into Flame Slash for that Crypt Rats, and I think that keeps us alive for a second. I don't think Deep Analysis to him does anything, so we're going to Deep Analysis ourselves. And there's the Flame Slash. which isn't good enough. I have to get the flyer, so. But he can just get the Crypt Rats back. I mean, we are basically just blowing up his clock at this point. Does that do anything? I'm not sure. I'm not even thinking at this point. I think we can kill everything. Flame slash this. This is gonna ping for one. So now I think we have to think twice into Mole Drifter into another removal spell. Not quite, but oh, you know what? Hang on. We might have one more removal spell. Let's keep digging. I still think that wouldn't save us, but it is, I think, burning his clock a bit. Alright, this is game over, but, I mean, he can't play another game like this because he's used up more time on the clock than he actually has. Meaning, he's used up more than 50% time on the clock. Let's just block. So if he plays another game just like this, he will run out of time before he wins. So that's one thing to think about. It's not that pleasant. I'm not even sure I love Counterspell, but only 2 copies is probably okay. So these are the biggest impact cards we got. We need to keep up with his card advantage in some way. Spreading Seas, I would love to just screw with him like that, but it's just not high enough impact. Tarfire's probably alright. We may have to, I mean, I would love to get another Angler, because one of the ways we can win is just bashing him down early with these before he can really get set up. I know that seems weird, but that is possible. Maybe we cut a Prism or something. That's going to screw with our ability to cast Counterspell, though. I mean, the only other thing to really bring in would be Chainer's Edict, but we're already 1 card over. I think Angler probably does more for us than Matron. Even though, I mean, that 4th Matron over the 3rd didn't really matter. Chainer's Edict, I'm not loving either. Yeah, I think this is about as good as we can do. The sideboarding to me is, it's very minor, meaning I don't think you can take out a ton of cards and bring in a ton of cards. And this is a keepable hand. Mind you, we were at 5 cards that game. So let's try and find spell bombs and more ways to draw cards and more lands. So yeah, let's keep both of these. We're going to need removal. And just turn 1 in existence. So let's fix our colors first and foremost. Find a counter spell, so that might actually be interesting. Yeah, I guess we'll start by leaving that up. He bogs us. He has yet to do anything, so we're not going to leave up counterspell. We need to find lands. Okay, I guess we are going to leave up counterspell. It's actually pretty sweet. So that wasn't too difficult. Mesmeric Fiend. I mean, whatever he takes, we can just kill his guy. Yeah, okay. The only thing is the think twice would be annoying, but I guess it wouldn't be that annoying. He did take the think twice. Okay. That's no problem. We know we're getting a land. Just flame slash this bastard. And we're very close to getting Angler. He didn't get it back. He's missing green. Oh, okay. Okay. I'm just gonna terminate it this time if he takes it. Otherwise I'll edict. Okay. For some reason he doesn't like that think twice. He's not really accomplishing anything, I don't think. I mean, he sort of is. So I could just, yeah, we just run out Angler with Counterspell backup. The only problem is we lose the think twice, but I actually don't care about that because we have Muldrifter to follow it up. So I'm actually okay doing this. Even though I'd love for this game to go long. Oromancer, I think we'll just counter because I want to get full value out of my next turn, and I think the main way to do that is with Muldrifter. I know that, you know, seems a little awkward. But what's he gonna do at this point? What are you gonna do, buddy? You're getting destroyed. He is stuck on lands again. Color screwed, like I said. Not hitting enough lands to be that effective. So he might flash in the Gorgon, but we've got Counterspell, so I'm not worried. Yeah, try it. Oh, Grave Scrabbler. So would I counter this? Yeah, you know what? I think I will. Stops him from getting a lot of value there. Alright, he's going to take something away. Kind of doesn't matter. He's almost dead to rights already. This is another thing. These decks aren't all that mana efficient. So, I mean, he can basically get one guy on the ground at a time. Granted, he's missing his land drops. That's just because he's not playing blue and you can't find your lands. Okay, go for the Flame Slash. The Gorgon might be there, but he actually can't get the Gorgon down. He doesn't have the mana. So he's at 3. He's two attacks from Muldrifter away from being dead. He's definitely going to get a board next turn. Okay. There's his green. It's probably too little too late. He drew this. He didn't have the Gorgon last turn, so he's not going to have it this turn because he drew this. Which means that he can only Grave Scrabbler, which means it's okay to attack with the Angler. I know he drew this because he just played it. He would have played this long ago to get green. So he will have a board, but not much else. He's also close to dying to the Muldrifter. Yep. Okay, so he's just going to do the Mesmeric Fiend trick again. It's not going to save him from the Muldrifter, though. I mean, shouldn't he have gotten the Leaf Crown Dryad to get reach? Am I missing something? I'm pretty sure that's what he should have done. So he's still dead to 2 creatures. Maybe he's doing that now. I mean, this trick is nice, but it's not that nice. It's really not that great. And it doesn't save you from the current predicament, which is that you need Leaf Crown Dryad. Am I missing something? He can cast it with Bestow. He can just cast it as a creature. I don't think he has enough mana to do... I guess he does. He can make 3 guys. So he's doing that first. Which this only puts him in chump block mode. Then I get the Edict back. I think he's just not... There's probably a way out of it. Not out of it, but there's probably a way to stay alive, and I don't think this is the way. Okay, so now he's just dead. I don't see there being any way he survives this. And now he has 8 minutes and 54 seconds to win the last game. I mean, maybe he's not dead. What do I know? But okay. So yeah. All right. Well, that seemed to work. And again, like I said it while I was sideboarding. There is these get the angler down semi early and just go to work and tune him up, and they don't develop fast enough to deal with it. Yeah, I mean, game one, what removal did he have? His removal were basically creatures with death touch, but I have actual removal to get rid of those creatures. Okay, so I don't think we can actually change anything. The counterspell is not the best, but I mean, maybe Chainer's Edict is better. I don't think Electrickery looks very good, so I can't see what else to bring in. Maybe Spreading Seas or something. And yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say. My brain's kind of on and off here. Very interesting matchup. There's so many things to talk about. You can talk about the strategy, the gameplay, the deck composition. I mean, there's so many ways that people build Tortured Existence. This guy, fortunately for him, didn't go overboard with the enablers. Sometimes you see Commune with the Gods on top of all this stuff, on top of Vessel, on top of Satyr Wayfinder, on top of all the other sacrifice and discard outlets. The dredge mechanic that fills the graveyard. So you can have too much of that stuff. It's debatable. Maybe this guy does, maybe he doesn't. But you also have to think about, okay, well, I need to just be able to finish the game. So I need something like Crypt Wrath that deals direct damage, destroys my opponent's board. I can get it back all the time. Lee Crown Dryad is interesting. It's sort of like Moldervine Cloak, if you think about it. It's that punchy creature boosting enchantment that you can keep bringing back from the graveyard. You need things like that. I'm surprised this version of the deck doesn't have any of the delve creatures like Gurmag Angler, which would make it a bit more threatening early on, because it's going to be hard for him to be threatening early on. Fortunately for him, got another really bad hand. This deck actually doesn't seem to mulligan too poorly. You would think with 3 colors it would be bad. But this we can keep. 4th land. No, I don't think that's the land we want. So this could be rough for us, based on the lands we've got. If he doesn't have an early Tortured Existence, that actually might not hurt him too much here. I mean, we have some divinations, and we're kind of just hoping for the best after that. Is he going to fiend me? No, he's got Tortured Existence early. Alright, so he's just kind of getting set up, really. And we need to find that 3rd color. Yep. Okay, he's not doing anything. So I actually just need to do this at the moment. I think we need to find the colors. Maybe that's wrong. Maybe I'm incorrect with that. Tilling Treefolk's an interesting inclusion. So he took the land. And we found our red source. Okay. I'm feeling a lot better. Now we are going to eat a creature at some point. He chose to get Satyr Wayfinder. Okay. So we're still doing alright. Once we get these matrons going, I mean, I'm feeling pretty good. Now, I could kill that, but I think we need to fix the colors first. Kind of go from there. Probably countering just about anything. So he took another land. I think he took Hollow or Guildgate. So he's dredging. He's already dredging. That's quick. Kind of makes sense. Don't forget, we do have Nihil Spellbomb, which is going to be pretty great. So anything he does is getting countered, I think. We just can't fall behind on the board. The next turn we're probably Edicting and Matroning. Probably Pilferers or Tarfire or something. Okay, he got Tree Folk. I'm countering that. This would be a great time to draw Spellbomb because... Ooh, when we draw War Marshal... That's interesting. Is that better than... So I could or I could Edict War Marshal? I don't know what's better here. We don't have a lot of red sources, which is kind of the problem. Maybe I do get Warren Pilferers. Yeah, I mean, our mana is going to be choked up, so I don't really want to pay that echo cost, so I think I'll get Warren Pilferers. I'll Chainer's Edict this bad boy. And we'll work from there. I mean, we got some pretty good stuff in this opener. Okay, so this is gross. He's gonna Mesmeric Fiend us again. Be a jerk about it, but oh, he's going just straight for Tilling Treefold. That's interesting. So he's almost just rushing to try and get to the finish line here. Man, do I want... that's not bad either, but I wanted... I mean, we could just slam that. I'd really like to get that Spell Bomb. So let's try and get a little closer to that. And that's definitely closer, getting the Preordain and all that, but we're in a weird spot where he's going to start fiending us. But he's only got 6 minutes to deal 22 damage, and we have so many creatures that are going to fill the board. Getting Crypt Rats, interesting call. And what does that do? That wipes our board. Does that do anything else? I mean, what does that do? I guess that's good, maybe. Okay, he's got a 3/5 reach. Alright, that's kind of an issue. So I can double Flame Slash. I'd much rather find... Oh no, I can't double Flame Slash. I don't have red. So there's Terminate. I can Terminate. I kind of like that. Probably keep the Preordain on top. Just Terminate and Angler this turn. He still gets the girl, the little Dryad thing. I guess I don't have to do that this turn, do I? So let's cast this thing. So that would use up everything, though. So I guess I will Terminate to add to the yard. I can keep the Edict. Red, black. And he's somehow trying to kill me with Crypt Rats, which is interesting. Yeah, the lack of red is kind of a problem. I'm almost interested in attacking. He does have that Crypt Rats, so I'm going to offer the trade here. So what did he get? He got the Treefold. Okay, so he's going to have a bunch of lands. I guess his plan is to try and Crypt Rats for lethal. I mean, the more black sources he has, the better. Okay, that's interesting. Now Spell Bomb would be great, so I'm going to definitely Preordain and try and find that. Still can't find it. Matrons are okay, but I'm almost specifically looking for Spell Bomb now. I mean, Edict is okay. Maybe we do Edict, Flame Slash, attack. Is that good? He just keeps getting Tilling Treefold back. You know what? I'm gonna cast Deep Analysis. We're gonna hope he never hits Bajuka Bog. I'm gonna Flame Slash the Stinkweed Imp. You know what? I'm just gonna leave the Treefolk alone. I think we're winning this by either timing him out or blowing up his graveyard with Nihil Spellbomb. So and, you know, maybe all of the above. But he has so many black sources now, but he needs to use them on his turn to try and keep up. So, yeah, you know what? This could get tricky, guys. I think he has Crypt Rats in his hand still, doesn't he? Okay, so he only takes the lands. Very interesting. I should just F6, shouldn't I? Getting Auramancer, okay. Oh no, that was so stupid. Oh my lord. I needed to get that red source. Wow, what an idiot. I'm thinking about so many things at once here. But we do have these prisms, so I guess that's good. Gosh, I would really love my good old spell bomb here. So I'm gonna still, kind of lobby for it, because right now we're not under a ton of pressure. The only thing is the recurring Crypt Rats are gonna blow us to hell. So, and that's clearly like his only way of really getting there and winning. So next turn, if nothing really unfolds, I'm just gonna have to maybe even start attacking. I'm not sure. Maybe start getting back. Okay, he's gonna Crypt Rats. So I'm definitely paying the Echo cost and killing the Crypt Rats, or is he gonna do it now? He's gonna do it now. Alright, that's not actually good enough. We have to kill it, first of all. Yep. So now he's trying to burn for lethal, which is potentially going to work here. I mean, I don't even know what we could get with Matron, but I think we have to just play Pilferers, get back Muldrifter, and kind of go from there. We could also get Mog War Marshal. I'm going to leave up Terminate. I'm not sure. You know what? I think it's actually better. Oh, shoot. I was supposed to hit turn off auto yields. I was going to say, I think it's probably actually better to Divination than to leave up Terminate, because now we just wasted a turn. Alright, please get me something. We've seen so much of the deck at this point. There's a counter spell. I kind of like that. I mean, I'm not sure if I should add to the board anymore, though. I'm just a little concerned about all that. But I will just Divination. Kind of like me this counter spell. We can counter the Crypt Rats and hopefully just spellbomb him out of the game. Hopefully. Let's see what happens. I think we're going to allow that. It's the Crypt Rats that I want gone. Because the Crypt Rats is the real threat here. So we'll even let him have that. I can create another board position, I think. Go up to 7 cards. Yep. We have so much removal. He's got Bajuka Bog in there, so if we ever kill the Tree Folk, he can kill the graveyard. Oh, he's got 3 of these damn things. Scrabbler. Yeah, this might be tough. We may actually just have to counterspell the Mesmeric Fiend coming down. Dryad. So what if I just blow up his graveyard here if I draw the Spellbomb? Interesting question, but I guess we're not going to find out the answer to that. So we'll just pass. I mean, he does have a board position. The ideal hope is to counter the Crypt Rats, but if he gets this Mesmeric Fiend garbage going, we're not going to be able to. So I'm going to let that resolve. I can kill that. Ooh. Okay. Again, the Crypt Rats is the real problem. Okay, I'm going to terminate this. We're going to have to create a board position, unfortunately, because now we're kind of forced to. So is that what I do? Do I just do that? Or do I dig for this Nihil Spellbomb that might not be coming? I have 3, 8, 10 mana. So maybe I'll dig once and then just kind of do this. And these are the only 2 Matrons left. So maybe I Edict once and I leave the other Matron back, because we kind of know what's going to happen here. We know that he has no goblins, right? Just zombies. We know that he can sweep. Alright, I'm just going to do this. This gives us a few options here. So if he goes for these Mesmeric Fiend crap, we can kill the Carrion Feeder in response, and then we can counter the Crypt Rats. I think that's actually our best play. So now he's going on an attack plan, it looks like. So our best blocks are... Oh, I'm really not sure. We can keep Mole Drifter alive. So maybe something like this. I mean, these take up the most time, so maybe I'll just kill some of these. And we almost don't care about her. I'm just going to Tarfire now. Actually, get the Grave Scrabbler. That's fine. I know it's giving him value, but it also takes up a lot of time to do that madness thing. The Oromancer might have been good too. It's kind of hard to say. I guess he can get it again? Maybe that's attractive to him. Yeah, I guess so. Then what do you do? So he's just going to sweep now. We finally find Nihil Spellbomb. So I'm happy about that. I just don't know what I'm going to do here. Nihil Spellbomb might kill his ass, because he actually can't get Grave Scrabblers back. You know what? Let's just do this now. There's no reason to wait. We can't let him untap. He's not going to do anything end step, so... If we just leave it open, he's not going to do anything end step. So we should just, I think, just do this now. What do you mean no? Hell yeah, I want to get the card. So he gets, what is he going to do? Get Crypt Rats? He's getting Grave Scrabbler, leaving Crypt Rats behind. Maybe he's going to get it. Wow, nothing. So now I think twice. I'm at 11. He must have another Crypt Rats. If he has another Crypt Rats, we're probably dead anyway. I don't know if there's anything left to get. Oh, there is. Cool, so we kind of do that. Little dog and pony show. Hopefully he's dead. Hopefully that just killed him. I don't know if it did. I have to assume he has some kind of Crypt Rats in his graveyard. We're at 18 cards. He does not have it. Oh man, he didn't get back Crypt Rats? What are you thinking? This is their only way to win. I guess I'll do it like this. That way if he crypt rats for 3, can't kill me. Wow, I think he's kind of screwed here. Is this what we're working with? This is... Oh, man. He let his crypt rats go like that? That is not gonna pan out, I don't think. Alright, we're just going for it. I mean, what do you want from me? What else is there to do here? Oh, man. And he's got to stop these 2 big old 5/5s. I just don't see it happening. Wow, that Nihil Spellbomb killed him. Alright, time for another one of these. Wow, how could he put that... How could he put that Crypt Rats away? That's what he needed. That was how he was going to win. He's going to try and attack me in 90 seconds. I mean, I'm not saying he can't do it. Maybe he can. But it's looking tough. I have Chainer's Edict. So he just Dryads the whole time. So I guess I double block. Wow. This is really interesting. It's not looking like he can pull this out, but maybe he can. Because I have this. He can keep scrabbling though. Or can he? I'm really not sure. I'm not going to win by attacking him, so I'm not even going to play that game. I'm not sure what he has in his hand, if it's Grave Scrabbler or what. I don't think he can kill me. I don't think he has the time. But maybe he does. You know, maybe he does actually. Maybe he does. He's really just racing at this point. What is he going to do? Make a 4/4? Okay, maybe he can do it. I would love to draw something reasonable, but I don't know what else I've got at this point. Okay, that's reasonable. I think he's on F6, which, you know, makes sense. Do I want the life or do I want to thin out? Do I have any? I think I have more basics. Man, he might get there with this. I'm gonna do this right here. Get some more time off of his clock. I know that's kind of dirty. He actually could get here. I'm not going to block a 6/6. So I go to 4. Wow, if he pulls this out, it's going to be crazy. I have to do this, I think. Maybe I have to wait. I guess I should be thinking at this point. That would be pretty good. I mean, one good thing about... Oh, man. No, there's no way to outfox him with that. I have to draw into, like, Mole Drifter or Removal. So... yeah, he might have me here. I have the Bloodfell Caves. Oh, God. I'm at 5. Wow, I think he's going to kill me in 10 seconds remaining. I think that's what's about to happen. 6. Can he kill me? Oh, can he get to attacks? Wow, this is way down to the wire. I think he's gonna get there. Wow, he got it. Yep, he got me. With 4 seconds left. So that was very close, but we didn't get there, guys. Crazy. And there was the Mole Drifter. Oh man, that would have been one card away from actually saving. So congrats to the opponent. He definitely soldiered through that. I thought he was done for. And we'll come back for the next round. Alright folks, round number 2. We're going to play first. I believe this is the second die roll we've won. We'll keep this hand. And you probably know that we're coming off of a pretty epic loss. A very epic match that nearly lasted an entire hour. And the opponent ended up beating us 2-1 in with 4 seconds left on his clock. That's pretty insane. So we're now in this what appears to be burn matchup. So I want to leave up the Dispel. I don't think burn is a great matchup for us either, but we are going to be able to Chainer's Edict this guy, which I think is the right play. We're going to be taking a lot of damage this game, so we want to start by mitigating as much damage as we can, and then we can think about getting the Goblin Matrons and all that. For now, we definitely want to kill this dude and leave up the spell. And next turn, we're almost certainly using Goblin Matron. Well, it's like maybe we can get a needle drop. No, not even a needle drop. Well, there's Flame Slash, so I guess we will do that. And there's really no reason to think twice right now, because we want to leave up Dispel. We're still not in very good shape, but these are just going to turn on Searing Blaze. I mean, our best bet is to find Gurmag Angler also. But I think I'm still just going to leave up Dispel. I guess with this I get Mog War Marshal to try and create some more damage. We don't have the land for Pilferers yet, so... So here I can hopefully counter the Searing Blaze. Uh-oh. I think we're lagging. Oh, Lord. Okay, I'm going to give it 5 seconds. Oh, Searing Blaze. Hell no. Who do you think I am? Wow, he just Fire Blasted me right just like that. Or not Fire Blast, Shard Volley. Okay, so yeah, we can afford to preordain here. We need Gurmag Angler. There's no two ways about it. So I'm just going to bottom everything that's not a Gurmag Angler or like a counterspell. Bottom. Bottom. Man, we got some lag, that's for sure. Going to preordain again. Well, I don't know what we can do about this lag. We just got to fight through it. There's not really much threat of us timing out, I don't think. Well, there is Dispel. I guess I'll keep both. That way I can play this Mole Drifter that I drew. And maybe use the Dispel. But we are definitely in trouble. Trying to play faster so we can get the hell out of here. Wow. So I have to win the game in 2 turns. So I guess I have to find Gurmag Angler. I can't win the game in 2 turns. You know what? I can't win the game. Well, that's pathetic. So there's probably no point in showing him anything else. But I guess the best chance for me is to Mole Drifter. I can't win the game. And And now computer's not responding. Okay, maybe it is. I guess I could just hit runners on life gain lands. And there's one. You might be hearing me clicking like a madman, and that's because there really is a bunch of lag right now. I don't know, maybe you can do something. Okay, that dropped me to 4. Well, yeah, we gotta find some life gain, so we're gonna draw. And we found some. Oh, this is just delaying the inevitable, I assure you. Let's go. I'm gonna leave up Dispel. Maybe I should have represented like a counterspell type thing. Alright, we're no longer alive here. And this is a matchup I thought about just a little bit. It is going to be tough. We're not playing as much permission as you would normally expect. So I think we can get rid of all this, basically. And we want to bring in more ways to win the game. So Angler, Spreading Seas, very interesting card to bring in against Burn. But what it does is it cuts down their ability to cast as many spells in a turn. And then it turns off things like Fire Blast, partially. As you can see, we disconnected. This tends to happen to me fairly often, so we're just going to have to roll with it. Fortunately, Burn is a pretty quick match to play, so we're a little lucky there. Hopefully it doesn't mess up my sideboarding, but if it does, we have some video evidence here to at least back up our cause. Just waiting for it to reboot, so please hang tight, guys. So the Spreading Seas can mitigate their Fire Blasts, because Fire Blast obviously requires 2 mountains to be sacrificed. I mean, if we don't get to sideboard correctly, we can't win this. Oh, shoot. Really? What? Where's my sideboarding? I still had time left over. What do I do? So I think we are ending up gonna get screwed here. So hopefully I can get some reimbursement. We'll see what happens. I mean, if we end up running the table and going 3-2 after this, I probably won't even bother, but how do I mean, is there any way for me to get back to the sideboarding somehow? Yeah. Wow, so we're just sitting here in limbo. Pretty much the worst time to disconnect because it screwed up our whole ability to sideboard. Maybe I click hide event and that does something. I'm assuming the match is just going to, continue once my allotted sideboarding time runs out, which is really unfortunate. Just so you guys know, I guess I'll tell you how I was going to sideboard before that happens. We took out a bunch of the removal, right? So Angler is one of our best ways for finishing games quickly. In fact, it is our best way. Anyway, we got to play this game now. We're going to have a horrible chance because we have all these dead cards still. And it's so bad that I think we even have to mulligan this, whereas with other matchups we would keep this, but we know what we're playing against, and that's just not going to be good. This is pretty terrible too. Wow, I can't believe we're in this position because we have all these dead cards now. Shoot. Yeah, we got to mulligan this as well. Wow, this is so sad. I think I have to go to 4. I don't think, I mean, we have to hit 2 blue sources and we can draw with this. I mean, I just don't, I think it's hopeless at this point. And we'll keep this, which is, it's just so bad. Gonna bottom. We need blue sources. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, I don't need to tell him. I mean, it's not his problem. Somehow I wonder if there's a way that the opponent can just manipulate your no, there's no way. He manipulates my connection. I highly doubt it. I can't see how that's possible, so I don't think that's a factor. But there's no way we're winning this game. Ay, ay, ay. I mean, you can just tell my connection's messed up from that first game. I don't know if you guys are perceiving it via the video, but there's a lot of just stilted. At least this will be quick and painless, because he's just going to finish this off in the next 2 turns. This is real bad. So had we been able to sideboard, you know, our 7-card hand from this game would have been, you know. Anyway, there's not even any time to discuss this. It would have been so different. It would have been drastically different. So even threw a Molten Rain in there. So that's unfortunate. That's something we're going to probably end up reporting unless we win the next 3 matches, which, hey, don't put it past me, guys. All right, well, let's find out what happens. Thanks. All right, guys, round 3. Let's keep. We're on the draw. We're back from that disconnect fiasco. And this looks like maybe it's Tron. We kept because we have 2 preordains to fix everything else that's wrong with this hand. So, and we have the blue source. I mean, you wouldn't keep if you only had one but not the other. Wall of Roots. Okay. So, no idea what this is. Could be an Axebane Guardian type deck. I'm thinking maybe we kill the one or the other of these with a Flame Slash, and we just have probably this guy. This is a little more explosive, but he can only use it once, you know? So, I don't think we want the Prism. I think the Matron's fine to get us some pressure. Not exactly sure what he's doing. I'm going to kill the Wall of Roots. It's been a very interesting league so far. I mean, we had that really epic match in round 1 that completely went the distance. And then we had the fiasco in round 2 with the disconnect and the little glitch that didn't allow us to sideboard for game 2. So depending on how this shakes out, we're going to end up. So this is all walls all the time. So I think we're going to kill the Tinder Wall. He's got 2, 1. Sorry, 2, 3, 4. 5 mana, something like that. 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, I'm not exactly sure what we're looking for. I think probably bottom that. We have enough draw here. We'll go ahead and get the Tinder Wall now. We'll set up our 3rd color. Next turn we'll probably go to Matron Cliffs. He's adding red. So let's pass priority first. In case, I don't know, somehow he does something and that influences our decision of what land to play, but probably wouldn't. Oh, wow, Vent Sentinel. Interesting. So I think we gotta leave up Counterspell. We don't want him to have multiple Vent Sentinels or anything, so now we kind of know what's going on here. It's a Vent Sentinel deck. That's going to be one of the main things that we need to deal with. So we didn't really need to kill the other walls, I don't think. I mean, maybe he's got fatties to ramp into. We're about to find out, that's for sure. But now that we have the counterspell that tends to change our line of play. So this is going to make him do a bunch of damage to us, 3 a turn. I mean, I guess we should just counter. I think I'm actually going to Edict him next turn. Warren Weirding. I'm sure he's got something good to play here. Another Vent Sentinel. Okay, but he can't activate here. Alright, so we can do this a couple times. Let's just go ahead and do it. Just eradicate his board. No goblins in sight, so that's good. Just gonna sack that and start taking some damage, but not all that much. I wonder if there's any other kind of combo going on, or if the main thing is Vent Sentinel. And it's unfortunate, a deck like this, I don't think can get too far off the ground because you're missing out on things like Wall of Blossoms that not only come down as a defensive body, but draw you deeper into your deck. Oh boy. Well, here we go. Yeah, that's going to be rough. That's not going to be easy to deal with, guys. But we got to try. I mean, maybe I play... Ooh, Flame Slash. Great draw. Maybe I... Mog War Marshal. That way I can... I guess we're doing that next turn. I'm actually going to draw some cards here. And probably just ventilate the Aurochs Herd. So we might be able to hang with this. I mean, we got to deal with basically 4 of these, which is not easy. And then he's going to start just direct damaging us. So yeah, this is kind of a tricky situation. But we'll see how it pans out. Yep, so just going to get another one. Yep. So do I draw 2 cards for... I think maybe I just Matron for Bushwhack... Not Bushwhacker. Wow. Flashing back to the Goblins days. For Mog War Marshal and just block with everything. Or we could take a hit. We could also just... Yeah, I'm just going to block. We could get another Matron, take the hit, get something like Warren Pilferers. But for now, I'm just going to set up the block. We're going to take 2. I don't expect him to have any pump spell, so I'm just going to block. Okay, so he's fetching up the last one, so we still have to deal with 2 more. And we're still going to be eating... burn to the face from this. Oh man, he's got another wall. Oh man. Well, hopefully that's not going to do anything too crazy to us. Alright, let's try and find some kill. Well, it looks like we're just going to have to cast Mold Drifter. We're eating like 6 damage. Or we're trying to find Terminate. Starfire doesn't really do anything yet. Alright. So, not a great spot. Well, I mean, we should be able to kind of brave the elements here. Good thing this taps and doesn't. You don't just need mana. Okay, so that's done. All right, and he's done. I mean, he's got his board position, which is very good. We're going to be able to combo these two to kill something. We are taking damage from this guy again. All right, give me something good. Terminate. If I get a Terminate, I'm pretty well set up. Oh man, you gotta be kidding me. Okay, a lot of flood. We've noticed this, what was it, match 1, right? There was some flood, so this is something definitely to look at. I have 23 lands because I want ample sources of each color. I have, I think, 19 blue, 15 black, 15 reds. Very satisfactory, but right now we're kind of flooding out. And there's a lot of draw in the deck. Okay, so what are we taking here? 3 plus 5, we're taking 8. We're almost dead. I think I might just use the token to eat up another point. Oh, I have to anyway. Oh no, it's an X4. So this means I'm taking 5 over 3, 2, 7. Oh goodness. So we need to draw something because Vent Sentinel will get us. And his last card's a land. He's going to deal 4 to us. Wow, this is gross. At least now we know there's only a few things we need to counter and deal with. And that's actually a really good draw. The only problem is Vent Sentinel is going to kill us. Because I can Matron, Pilferers, blah 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 blah. It just won't do anything. Alright, so we're dead. Let's go to sideboarding. Little bit of flood there and a little unfamiliarity with his deck. We didn't really realize what he had, what we needed to be able to win. So now that we do have a better understanding, I mean, even Spreading Seas might be okay, but it just depends how much we're going to cut. We might not even cut anything else. Just bring in the Edict. And it's all about killing the Vent Sentinels and the Aurochs Herds. I don't think he has much of anything else. It's just a lot of fodder. So I think we can leave it like this. We don't really need Hydro. What is his red for Vent Sentinel? So yeah, maybe we want some Hydroblasts. But not that many. Tarfire seems kind of weak. Hydroblast definitely going to be better. And I think that's it. The Edicts are kind of weak, but yeah, maybe we don't want that extra Edict because he's going to have so many walls on the board that we don't really want those. So I'll play 2 Hydroblasts. And this is a keep. We've got Prophetic Prism. Really kind of a lifesaver in this deck. I've had a lot of hands that I can keep because of Prophetic Prism. I think I'll keep both of these. We can't use Counterspell till turn 3, but I don't think he's going to have anything that relevant until then, so these walls, I mean, that wall is just, we do not care about it. I think next turn he's probably going to use a Karoo land, and then we'll be perfect for turn 3. Even better. Alright, so just pass. I guess he won't have anything. Actually, man, I think we messed up because I don't think he'd have anything relevant here. He actually didn't have anything at all. Yeah, so I just kind of wasted a turn. I think I'd rather hit my land drop than get on the board. But maybe I should pressure. Let's try and hit the land drop. There you go. Okay, Vent Sentinel coming down. Axebane Guardian. Yeah, I mean, I guess we just kill that. We want to save the counterspell for Aurochs Herd. I think we actually just kill that guy. Alright, this is really good. So we will get Mog War Marshal so we can go around this wall. Yeah, that's okay. So I could just Matron for an Edict, but I think we'll start here. Definitely not. Alright, so now we get to attack. We gotta watch out for this, because he can actually kill stuff he blocks, right? Oh, if he sacks it. Alright, that's not a big deal. Let's Matron for Matron, I guess. Or for... yeah, maybe we just want to diminish his walls, because if he gets like an Aurochs Herd, we might not like that. Guardian. Alright, so I think we just double Edict here. We need to pressure, and the Edicts are going to get worse and worse and worse, so... I guess I should have used Weirding first, since he wouldn't know what to sack. He wouldn't know that a second one was coming. Alright, this is good. He's pretty flooded, kind of like we were last game. These type of variables make things so lopsided, you know? We'll just pass that. We want to save the Flame Slash for Aurochs Herd. Sure. Okay. 2 Hydro Blasts. Let's try and find a counter spell. Well, another Flame Slash is not so bad. And we'll just keep our guys alive. He's got all the mana in the world, so I don't think the Axebane Guardian's really doing much of anything. Alright, this game is really lopsided. Sure. I don't know what his last card is. It's maybe like a fog effect. I can't think of anything in green-red that you'd be holding on to. Could be just a bluffed land. Still looking for counterspell just to keep the Aurochs herd away. Though even now, I'm not sure it would do all that much. I'm not expecting to need to Hydro Blast anything. But at this point, we might as well just leave it up. I should have just played the islands. Alright, he's done with us. Cool. At this point, we should have... at that point, we should have just played the island before the Flame Slash came down, just in case. And sometimes I get too wrapped up in playing the tapped land over the untapped land when... You know, the whole logic of that is to set up your following turn a little better. You sacrifice a bit of mana this turn to have perfect mana next turn. But a lot of the times your follow-up turn is not going to need that extra mana or that extra color. So it's better just to do as much as you can in the present. Alright, I was happy with how that went. So we beat him without any Gurmag Anglers or hardly any Mole Drifters. So... just leave it as is. And definitely keep this. We want to be able to counter Aurochs Herd and pressure with Goblin Matron. So, plus we have all our colors. What's not to like? Probably start with this in case I draw Flame Slash for his first wall or something. Not that I would use that. None of his... This is kind of a problem with a lot of decks out there, is that, especially things that are based on synergy, is that a lot of the cards don't matter, and you can just worry about some other things. Now, I think I actually kind of am messed up because I need to leave up Counterspell for Vent Sentinel next turn. If he plays Guard, yeah, I don't care. The acceleration is not worrying me. Now the fact that we have this is pretty cool. So he's going to go for Herd or Vent Sentinel or something. Aurochs Herd. Vent Sentinel. Vent Sentinel. Aurochs Herd. Alright, well we have the counterspell, good for us. Now he might have another one. And I'm not sure if I'm getting island or mountain. I think I'm getting mountain. And let's just go Goblin Matron here. And we'll get another Mog War Marshal. I think what I'm going to end up doing is letting the War Marshal die to Echo and get a Pilferers with this and get it back so I have more going on. Alright, this thing's a like must kill. It's going to be doing 5 a turn to us, so I at least need to Chainer's Edict right now. And we're almost Gurmag Angler time, so that might be enough to pressure him really severely. Yeah. So I am going to let it die. It's going to fill up the graveyard so I can Angler and let me use my mana. I'll get Pilferers, and then probably Pilferers this back, and we can start. Alright, so he's doing 4 a turn to us, but I think we can probably deal with that. We can also find Flame Slash or Terminate. Alright, so... yeah, I'm just going to have to get rid of my whole graveyard. I could play Prism and leave the Chainer's Edict. Yeah, maybe that's better. No, you know what? We just need to go on the fast track here. Which actually screws up my Pilferer's plan. Because none of these are... yeah, I didn't really think that through. I have no graveyard now. That's okay though. I think I still get the Pilferers because the 3/3 makes things kind of tricky for him. We have 1 Matron left. So he's going to 4 me, but yeah, it's going to be rough, but just have to do what we can. I should check my connection here. Okay, we're fine. I trust that we can find a removal spell for this before it gets too problematic. So let's just get Pilferers. I mean, maybe Weirding is better because we just cut down his you know, 3 is a 7-turn clock, but 4 is a lot shorter. It's almost a 4-turn. It's almost a 5-turn clock, rather. Okay, he's not doing much of anything. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So let's see if I find a removal spell first. Oh, beautiful. For Spacious Skies. So I go to 13. None of my guys really die. I mean, he's got some blocks, but he's under a lot of pressure. I'm not going to assume he's got Rolling Thunder or anything like that, so let's just go with this. Put him under the gun. Now we get Warren Weirding, which I may target myself with to get some hasty guys. We'll see what happens. It's probably better at this point to target him, but... oh! Man, I'm playing like an idiot. There was another Matron in our deck. We do have 7 mana though, so it's not that big of a deal. Actually, what I might end up doing is killing my own Matron, getting it back, and then, yeah, I think maybe I'll do that. That seems fine. Get a bit of synergy here. So now we're really turning up the aggro. And yeah, I apologize. I'm playing like a complete idiot. But this should put him in a very dire position. I'm just playing way too fast, and it's not necessary. We have 13 minutes to finish this game. I think that play was probably worth it. You treat this like a souped-up dragon fodder, and then this is a 3/3 haste that gets you a Goblin Matron in hand. Right, he's going to kill something. Oh! Electrickery. Wow. Okay, we're still in a decent spot though. And he's hellbent. So I kind of know what I'm going to do. I'm going to attack, and then I'm going to get Matron for Matron for Warren Weirding, which is all I have left. Well, I didn't consider that. That actually pretty much wrecked us. But we're able to bounce back pretty well. And it's not even that my tutoring of the edict was bad, it's just that I didn't consider any of the other options. So let's draw 2 cards before we do anything too extreme. So I'm going to save the terminate. I am going to, for now, just edict him. Basically force a block on the angler. He can go to 1, but or I guess he could go to 2. Alright, looks like we won, but I apologize for my misplays and stuff. But hey, a win's a win, and hopefully we're on our way to a full-fledged comeback. So thanks for watching, guys. Hey guys, we're here in round number 4, and we're on the play. We're going to keep this hand. I got to apologize for the previous match. While we did get a win, you will have noticed that there was a ton of... We're going to kill this Delver. It's going to put us off of Counterspell for a while, but I don't want to fall too behind in terms of tempo. That you'll notice from the last round that there was a ton of there was like a really loud, pronounced clacking of the ceiling fan in the room. So I apologize for that. I turned it down a bit so that it won't be too egregious. Looks like we're playing against straight up Delver, and this matchup seems alright. Not too bad. So we'll see how things pan out. I mean, you can always lose to Delver no matter who you are. But some people have it easier than others, that's for dang sure. This deck has, I mean, a lot of vulnerabilities, so we're going to try and get closer to Counterspell mana. And he actually, I guess, is doing everything on his second main to see if I'm F6'd or whatever. So now he's going to probe us and see what we're working with. It's not going to be too shocking. Oh wow, he's another color. So he's blue-red. Okay, I jumped to conclusions way too quickly. And he's just going to do more digging here. Yeah, I jumped to conclusions way too fast on that one. So what did he do? Bottom top. I have not faced this matchup yet. So we're clearly going to just go with the terminate. Counter his next play. Hope that he doesn't have Dispel. And go from there. Okay, he's not even going to cast anything. And I'm not either. I'm fine waiting. I mean, you let something through, you're kind of screwing yourself over. It's clear he's got a ton of pump spells. He's not playing lands. So, and we're 1 turn away from this Mole Drifter, so I guess I'm fine with that. So he knows about this mountain, now that we have another chance. And I could have... No, I wouldn't have cast Divination there. So he might be playing Counterspell here. If he is, we'll let it happen. And now that we have an Edict effect, we're actually okay with letting his first threat resolve. And then one of 2 things will happen. He'll either play a second threat, which we counter, or we'll try and edict his first threat, and if he has a counterspell for that, then we counter back. And now I mean, we're really just running away with this. So we're going to have 8 lands, so we can afford to preordain and Mole Drifter here. Or if we find Angler or something. So do we want another Mole Drifter? Do we not want another land? I think we can afford the Mole Drifter. This is going to really stack things up against him. Against his favor, but we don't really want the lands in particular. I mean, we're going to naturally hit lands with some of these anyway. And yeah, we just pass. Alright, so we're stacked now. Our hand is looking insane. So he's going to gush, and that's fine. If you're not familiar with this matchup, they really rely heavily on Kiln Fiend and Nivik Cyclops, along with pump spells like Temur Battle Rage, and then all of their sorceries and instants are naturally pump spells too. So they're really leaning heavily on basically 8 creatures. So that, you know, part of even building this deck is making sure you have ways to kill those 8 creatures. And sorcery speed edict effects are particularly useful because they don't target the creatures themselves. You'll notice, or maybe you already have noticed, that their decks tend to have just a ton of ways to protect their guys. Sometimes it's Dispel, sometimes it's Apostle's Blessing. Alright, so what are we doing here? 4, 8, 9. So if we play the island, we can also go with Prophetic Prism. Or we could just leave up Think Twice. I mean, I don't know that it matters. So I'll just... Actually, this is better, because if we don't end up countering anything, then we can Think Twice. Alright, cool. So we have, as you can see, we have a trillion ways to kill. And he's so far behind, I mean, basically on a 2-turn clock. Yeah, feel free. He might even concede here. I guess he's not drawing any other threats. Or he's just really afraid. But I think he's doing that mostly to get information. He's had a really awkward draw this game. Didn't shuffle. So I'm going to let that resolve. We have so many ways to kill everything. And this is not my first rodeo. So I'm going to think about this for a second. If we let this resolve and then we try to Flame Slash, he could have 2 Apostle's Blessings. If he has a counter spell, he's going to counter back, and then we know we're safe. I think I'm just going to counter this. Okay, so we're just killing... We're actually killing both of these with Flame Slashes because mutagenic growth is probably not happening. And then I am going to fetch and cast Think Twice just in case I draw one of our beautiful Gurmag Anglers. And I'll go ahead and just do this again. Okay, didn't quite get there, but I mean, he's really in trouble with this amount of damage going on. So is this Muldrifter or Gush? Probably Gush. Yeah. They don't usually play Muldrifter. There are some offshoots that do. But what is he going to do here? He knows we have this and this. In fact, he shouldn't even pay the full cost on that Gush. There's really... That doesn't make much sense to me. So he's probably got a couple bolts. He's got at least 1 bolt. I mean, I think that's... Yeah. I'm going to cast Think Twice just in case, because right now, if we find Dispel... No, that's fine. I mean, I wasn't dead set on countering this anyway, but I don't see the flaw in these bolts hitting. And that's going to be pretty amazing for us. So I'm still going to fetch. I want to thin the lands, and I don't know. We really don't want to be hitting any more lands. So you also notice that I'm getting a bunch of islands, and the reason for that is we have more islands left in our deck. So we have like... let me just figure out how much I want to spend on this. I'll just spend 1. We have like... we have like 1 mountain in the deck left and 1 swamp. But we have something like 3 islands at that point. So we want to lower the land that has the highest % chance of being drawn. And okay, so we win game 1 in very convincing fashion. Let's see what kind of sideboarding I want to do. I mean, things like Mog War Marshal are really not interacting with him very well. I mean, I would even say the Pilferers getting something back is not really in my is not something that interests me. 3 copies of Hydroblast will put in a lot of work because they're going to stop his most relevant threats. Tarfire is a little weak, however, it does kill Delvers and Kiln Fiends, so I think that's okay. Another Chainer's Edict is definitely something we want to be looking at. So at this point, maybe I cut the Deep Analysis. I mean, really, if you just interact with them a ton, that's going to give you the best chances. We don't have a lot of ways to win from here, which is a bit of a concern. Even getting a second angler in there would be something that interests me. So maybe I would cut a counterspell for that, just so we definitely have a way to close the game. He's playing red removal, so not likely going to be killing anglers. And you saw, I mean, he can even just die to Mold Drifters. So I think we're okay with this. A lot of cheap, again, interaction. You want those things that kill their guys kind of unconditionally. And we've got a lot of that here. So we are going to keep... Depending on if he has Delver, I think I may start with the Dismal Backwater. And also what I draw. So I think I am going to start there because that gives us the opportunity to Edict a turn 2 Kiln Fiend. It does screw us up because Terminate is so hard to cast with this hand. But that's kind of the way it goes. And we're waiting on him with his... Okay, he didn't shuffle. We could also... Man, we got a lot of lands now. I was going to say we could also... I think this is the best option. It means we can either do Counterspell next turn or we can do Chainer's Edict. And he's just going to do some more digging. So... I think this is probably the safest route to take. Leave up the counterspell and worry about red stuff later, which, funnily enough, still drawing lands, but our hand is pretty good, so I'm not necessarily worried. Okay, he's still not doing anything, which is not the best for him. I think I need to get another black source so that eventually I can Chainer's Edict and leave up Terminate in the same turn. And yeah, I'm just going to keep getting lands out of my deck because we have way too many. Not way too many. I mean, we're going to be able to make use of these, but yep, that's fine. So he's really getting interested in trying to overrun us. So that's fine. We're going to let loose the Chainer's Edict. So this, I think I get Mountain. And then see what we draw. So I'm going to start with the Edict. If that doesn't work, I may... I think I'll still play a tapped land. But I was going to potentially just play a Mountain and Terminate. But I don't think we want to do that. So we're good here. Everything's developing well. Again, they don't really have anything to get around Chainer's Edict. Terminate is a different story, and this we want to counter, though I think he's going to have something to counter back, which is going to complicate things. Yep. And that's just the way that goes. I think at this point we want a Goblin Matron and I don't know. I mean, we could just Edict that guy. Maybe we Prism first, which means we want to Wilds first. A Stormbound Geist is not a huge threat. Let's draw first. I mean, all we have to do is block with a Mold Drifter and then kill it later. I do want to find more... And there's the Mold Drifter. I do want to find more interaction like Hydroblast to try and... Or Dispel to try and counter things like that. We don't have Pyroblasts in our 60 right now. I think I'll go ahead and just straight away get an edict because we're looking at some potential problems here if he just resolves a big guy, which I think is bound to happen. We are getting close to flashing back Chainer's Edict as well. And this is really interesting. Okay, here comes Cyclops. Not something we want to see. Oh, Kiln Fiend instead. But even that is a little tricky. He's going to attack, of course. Not too bad for us. Now we have 2 Terminates, which I think we probably just want to fire those off at this point. And make sure that this thing doesn't stay alive. So we'll just try again. And that at least gets some instants and sorceries out of his hands, even though there's a potential for him to kill next turn. But he doesn't have 2 blessings. I think at this point I'd like to go ahead and just edict him because we're going to have to get rid of this stupid Stormbound Geist one way or the other. And I think the way we're going to do it is flashing back Chainer's Edict. So even though we're boosting his guy a little bit, I'm not seeing him having a way to like bounce his creature back to his hand. So we'll see how that works out for us. He is, I mean, he's still got a lot of spells. No, he's got at least 1 island in there. He kept on top, so definitely another threat. Oh, a gush. Maybe he kept the gush. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we can flash back Chainer's Edict now. Don't play a guy. Yes. I think we just flash this back, baby. And then we'll see what happens. Well, he actually has something for it. Okay. Well, that's fine. I mean, I'm going to be much more excited to have a Mole Drifter up there. But we still need to deal with this eventually. I mean, this thing's getting pretty nasty. It is possible that he has another counterspell. Okay, maybe not. Yeah, and I'm fine leaving up Think Twice instead of playing that Cliffs. So he can counter this if he wants, but no, we know that he doesn't have a counter. He would have countered the Mole Drifter. Alright, so now we're pulling ahead. He does have a billion cards, and that's one of them. So I don't think we attack the Mole Drifter into that. I think we're trying to make something happen. However, 3, 6, 9. We now, I guess we wait a turn to do double edict. Let's go ahead and just draw. I was hoping for like a Hydro Blast to feel a little more comfortable. Still not interested in attacking into that with Mole Drifter. We have the Dispel, so if he tries for some crazy amount of pump, which really you can't get it done on the Stormbound Geist, we still have a Dispel to try and fight back, but we don't have to be too tricksy. And if we attack with this, there's still like the I mean, my plan really was fighting back against that, but my plan really was blocking the Stormbound Geist and then using a removal spell. But it's really, I mean, 2 damage is not going to be the end of the world. I'd rather leave the Dispel to stop some protection. So, and now, as you can see, we have a billion different ways to stop stuff. I'm going to go ahead and I guess I'm going to start with Flame Slash. If he goes for a counter, I can then Tar Fire. If he has a counter for that, okay, never mind. I know Flame Slash is not the ideal against a 2/2, but okay, and he just has nothing now. No Apostle's Blessings, no Dispels. Well, we didn't. He probably has Dispel or something. He might even have Pyroblast at this point. And we've just got everything. I mean, what can you really say? Yeah. So that's pretty. It's a pretty overwhelming amount of stuff for him to deal with, but we're just lucky to have it all. We still have this as well, in case you guys didn't notice. And we're looking good. This is game 2. We're ahead from game 1. And the only thing we're behind on is the clock right now. Sure. Do I just go for the Tarfire on that? Probably. He's down to 3 cards. Cool. And here comes Big Fat Fatty. And I'll just cast it for 1. We don't know. Maybe he's got a bunch of mana leaks or something. And there's really no reason to save anything, so. Okay, that's going to be a big problem for him, which is going to force him to have to do something pretty fast. You can't take too many hits of this, but he's not doing anything. I could think about casting Weirding on myself and all that, but we're really in no need for that at the moment. We could potentially do that next turn. Okay, and Matron doesn't actually even get anything from our deck, so. But it's just another body. We have 2 ways to stop an Electrickery. So I'm not concerned about that. Yep. He's going to need some bolts, that's for sure. Bottom. Alright, I feel like we're at least redeeming ourselves a bit here. We've won this match, and we're going to try and break even with a 3-2 finish in round 5. Hopefully we can do that, and that would mean we don't have to report the debacle from round 2, because I think they would just reimburse us, which is the same thing as the result we're potentially getting. So let's hope to win the next match, and thank you guys for watching. It all comes down to this, ladies and germs, and we're definitely going to keep. So we're on the play, and this is round 5. You've probably seen a very interesting league happen. Our opponent mulligans to 6 and keeps 6, and he bottoms. So we're going to start here, and I think we're going to get a red source with this next turn. You might notice that the sizing of the window is a little off. I don't know how to fix that. That happens every once in a while with MTGO. And looks like it might be mono black. So I'm just going to go with that. Also, I've been kind of sloppy in some of these matches. So because it is mono black, well, it appears to be, I'm hoping we can take our time a little bit. And here I'll get a blue source because we have a lot of blue spells. We may want to cast a blue spell and at some point leave up Dispel. Also, I think I'm just going to get a Goblin Matron here. We're not sure specifically what we want. Actually, I think it's going to be better to get a Mog War Marshal. That way we can, next turn, maybe War and Weirding and do that, or think twice and do that. So I think I'll just get the War Marshal now. It's a little more pressure and it lines up better with our with our mana. So there we go. Glad we're getting to face some of the more popular decks. Okay, so I think that is what we're going to do. Yeah, seems good. We have another removal spell coming down the pipe, and yeah, things look pretty good. So he's probably a little confused by what's going on. He's only seen Goblin Matron, Grixis colors, and Warren Weirding. So we'll just do this before combat. And this is how you try to pull ahead slightly. Again, like I said, he's a little perplexed by all of this. I'm not gonna save this guy. There's just too much to do. There's too much for us to do mana-wise. He casts the Unearth. And he's gonna Rats us. So I think we're actually gonna cast Deep Analysis next. Because we want to hit land drops and removal spells. So that's going to be my play. We are falling behind because if he just untaps, finds a land, and goes with Grey Merchant, we might be in trouble. So I'm going to do this rather than leave up Dispel. And we're definitely keeping Mole Drifter. But most likely next turn, I think we're going to Matron and Warren Weirding him. And clearly we're not going to attack. I keep clicking on that because I'm just a little paranoid about poor connection, but we seem to be okay right now. Yeah, he might just slam Grey Merchant here, which will put us to 16, and that will put him to 22. Okay, I'm going to try and triple block the Chittering Rats. And if he wants to use 2 removal spells on that, it's not the end of the world. I mean, I think he's putting a little too much stock in our creature base. Okay, and that wasn't even a Shinobi. I don't think he has Grey Merchant either, because he would have done that pre-combat. Well, she's a problem for our board. So I'm not sure I even want to play the Goblin Matron. I mean, I could get... I think I just want to play Mole Drifter. Actually, let's see. She can get Tar Fire, but I can't cast it this turn. Yeah, I think we're just going to play Mole Drifter. Because we need lands. I mean, it's possible I should have kept that other land. I'm going to get another red source with this. Terminate's a great draw. It's looking like he's just going to ping my poor girl. Poor Goblin. And maybe Edict my Mole Drifter. Yeah, we're in a weird spot here, that's for sure. Yeah, of course. So we're going to go there. Yep, Edict. So we called it. And an Unearth? Okay, I'm going to do away with the Dispel. I'm fine with that. His board position's crazy. This is not good. Yeah, definitely getting another red source. Alright, so I have 6 mana, meaning I can preordain. I need like flame, I need removal, so I mean this Matron's not doing a ton. I can get Tarfire with it. If it's not removal, I don't think I'm keeping it. Alright, that's good. So I think I actually just Flame Slash and Terminate here. But I'm also going to cast Think Twice to maybe hit a land. Oh, that's a good draw. Okay, we might be able to come back from this. It's just looking really rough. And I think I gotta kill the rats because we gotta kill the devotion. I can't really worry about another unearth. Okay. Going down to 11, I don't love it. Yeah, we just kind of got caught this game out of position. His board presence is a little too strong. Definitely fighting uphill. So, what do I do here? Can I deep analysis? No, I only have 6. I can't deep analysis Matron. Yeah, I can. Deep analysis, Matron, and Tarfire. That seems good. What do I get with this? Probably another blue source. Maybe I'll just get another black source. So we have 3 blue. Okay, I have to do this correctly. I have to leave up all the red. Going to 8. Not good. Okay, Flame Slash is not bad. So I guess we just do that. No, we Tarfire. If he has Gray Merchant, I think we're dead anyway, but we want to have the Flame Slash ready for that. I think actually we're not dead. We're going to chump block, go to 6, then we're going to go to 2. Then we can Weirding. Alright, she's dead. Alright, we might be dead. All it takes is a Gray Merchant here. Not yet, not quite. Alright, that's not too bad. It is bad. We're going to 4. I mean, if he can kill the Pilferers, I guess we are finished. So my options are I can play the Pilferers and the Flame Slash, then we lose to any removal, or just a land so he can flash back. So I think the better option is to try and draw another removal spell. And we just kill 2 of them. But then we're dead. We're also dead to Sign in Blood, so we would be dead to Sign in Blood with the other line as well. I'm gonna tap like this in case it's Terminate. Well, we gotta cast this anyway. I'm gonna go to 1. I don't think we can survive. But we sure will try. I don't think this game 1 is gonna pan out too well for us. Just preparing for the worst here. Going to 1. It's got a lot of ways to finish. Sign in Blood, Gray Merchant, Corrupt. And he has Gray Merchant. Alright. Time to sideboard. We don't sideboard all that much. We want to get rid of Dispels. And because he has Kumbai Witches, we may want to cut down on our X1s and generally just make those things worse. So I think we want Edict, Spellbomb, another Angler, and probably this Deep Analysis. It's all the removal we can buy. Yeah, maybe something like this. I think this is what we want. Plus, I mean, his deck's all 2/2s. This doesn't add up too well against that. Yeah, I think this is how we do it. Alright, we are going for it. We've got to come back and sweep these next 2 games for the glory. I think we can do it. I've beaten Mono Black before, I believe. And this looks pretty good here. So I suppose we're going to keep. I think how we sequence this is next turn we wilds for a mountain and preordain. Try and find some more removal. Yeah, we have way too many lands. So I want card draw and removal. That's the only thing I think I'll keep, and I would count Goblin Matron as both. Okay, bottoming lands. Okay, good draw, good draw. Depending what he has next turn, I'm probably just playing Spell Bomb and Caves. This is probably Sign in Blood. Could be Wrench Mind. Could be Witches. He just passes. So now, Spell Bomb. That's going to be in play for a good long while, unless we get really desperate and need to pop it as a cantrip. Okay. I'm okay with that. And we'll just kill that, and now we're sitting around. We're a little behind because of that play, but no big deal. So this is actually okay too, because we're going to get to deep analysis through it. And he did miss some lands. You may have heard me say this at one point before, but this is both a good and a bad thing. This is good because he's falling behind on tempo, but it's bad because long term, I think I just play this land in case I draw a preordain. Maybe I don't. Long term, it's a little bad because he's got so many spells in play. Alright, we definitely want to leave out the black source in case he unearths. Yep. And he's probably got lands now, yeah. Look at that, 7 cards. That's going to be gross. Probably just want to play the Mole Drifter. We're kind of running the risk of Bojuka Bog hitting us if he has another one. I think maybe I'll just draw 2 first. Okay. So this is not looking bad. We need to keep finding card draw, and we need to hit a bunch of threats because he's going to have a lot of removal for us. I hope he's sitting on shrivels and stuff that's absolutely useless. That would be kind of cool. I also hope he's sitting on Unearth, so I'm just blanking that right now. Okay, okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Do I terminate that? So next turn I could draw a counterspell off of the Mole Drifter. So I think I do terminate that. And that's the last terminate. So we gotta tap in such a way that maybe we get counterspell out of it, which would be like this. Okay, we gotta think twice, not too bad. I like that we're hitting all this card draw. He's gonna be killing off creatures like there's no tomorrow. That's just a fact of nature, and that's gonna be potentially dangerous for us, but hopefully we can kind of push through it there. Alright, I'm liking this. So same deal, we're going to leave up potential counter spell. 3, 6, 7, 8. So I think it's okay to leave up the flashback on think twice. Because next turn we're going to go Matron, something. Probably War and Pilferers. Actually, we'll go Matron, Pilferers, get the Muldrifter back. That should be a pretty... I mean, he's all removal and Gray Merchants, which is a little disconcerting, but not too bad. Oh, baby. So, again, it's 8. I could go Matron, Angler, and I think that's actually better. But I have to do it. I have to just one Muldrifter in the yard. Okay. Just gotta tap correctly, baby. Alright, cool. I like this. Matron for Pilferers and play Angler. And I think that should put him in a pretty weird spot. Or do we Matron for Matron? Maybe that's what we're doing. Maybe that makes more sense. Just get all the threats we can. I kind of like that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh wow, I get to leave both of them. Just in case. Alright, now I'm feeling pretty good because we got a lot of resources just to kill all his stuff. And then we're getting a lot more creatures coming back. Alright, that's a little unfortunate, but he's still got to deal with all this other crap. My only concern with playing out this last Matron is some type of... Okay, so he finally gave up on the Unearth. Is some kind of sweeper, but... So again, we have 9 now, but I'm just going to play Pilferers. Which is good, gets us another Muldrifter back. Leave up a black source. We've got all the removal in the world. I mean, I don't think he's going to be able to kill us with creatures. The question is, are we going to be able to kill him with creatures? That's the real question. We have another Angler. We're going to... I mean, is that the second Muldrifter? Yeah. So we actually have 2 more. I think we can win this. And then we got to win another game. And we're only ahead by 20 seconds, so that's okay. So what is this? Sign in blood. Okay, I don't care if he anglers, so I'm not going to try anything cute here. Duress. Yep. So he's probably taking Flame Slash or Warren Weirding. Warren Weirding actually can help us, so he might take that. Wow, no removal. He's not playing any removal this turn. Maybe he will. I mean, the only thing we really fear at this point is like Crypt Rats or Pestilence. I still think I'm going to throw that Muldrifter out there because it's better against everything else, and we might draw into a counterspell. Chainer's Edict. So, and that also kind of leads me to believe he's not holding a sweeper, because he would want to save the Chainer's Edict potentially, I would imagine. So actually, I think I'm just going to crack this now because it kills his Chainer's Edict and all of his dreams. So I think that's fine. And I gotta check to make sure I'm not lagging. Okay, it's him, not me. So he's gonna have a time issue. Yeah, we'll pay. And where's our counter spells, guys? I would really like to know. And I just noticed that the fan is going crazy, so I'm gonna turn it down. Hang on a sec, guys. Okay, it should have been modified here. And now he knows about Think Twice, but I still don't care. I'm going to go Prophetic Prism on him. Drawing a card. There's the counterspell. Perfect. Alright. So I think that's going to basically lock him out of the game because he's only got a couple turns left. We can kill everything, so the only important things he could have is a board sweeper, and we have the counter for that. Everything else we can deal with. So really not going to matter. I don't think I'm even going to cast this Think Twice. I'm just going to always leave up counterspell till he dies, which is just in 2 more turns. So Oubliette. And maybe I do counter that. That kind of signifies there's no wrath coming, so I'm going to counter it. Puts him even closer to death. Okay, another Chainer's Edict. He's got a lot of removal, that's for sure. Okay, there's an Angler. I like that. Should I save it? I don't think so. Again, what could he have? He can't Crypt Rats and Edict me. And I have 4 plus 5, 6, 7, so I can do a lot of stuff this turn. Let's just get this out of the way. Maybe I can find another counter. Nope. So we'll just do this. And make this big fat fatty here. Kill any chance of Crypt Incursion happening. And that should be a wrap. Yeah, he just concedes. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And we're ahead by a little over a minute. So this is going to be a real close one because he's going to be on the play. And he's got a better sense of what our deck looks like. I think, the sideboarding for him was probably really tricky after that first game because he didn't see a lot. I mean, he saw Muldrifter, Deep Analysis, Preordained, but I don't think he really got a full grasp of the deck being just a control deck that happens to have goblins in it. Yeah, I think we're pretty set here. So let's go ahead and submit. I'm very happy that we have enough ways to keep him from killing all of our guys. I mean, we finished that game before seeing, the vast majority of our deck. Okay, so this hand I don't think we can keep. It's, obviously borderline. These are one of those ones that make you think. He didn't mulligan, though. But I'm still going to mulligan. Ugh. What the hell? Okay, well, let's see. I'm on the draw. Any land will kind of get me there with the Prophetic Prism, and I have a ton of removal to try and stay alive. So I think we're going to have to gamble here. We've got the Scry and the extra draw, and just hope to find a land, and that's it. Alright, so our position's much better now, unless he duresses the Prism away. Even then, we still have Flame Slashes to kind of keep it going. Alright, so I think we're actually in this now with the Prism. That was kind of a clutch mulligan choice, and I think we're okay right now. We obviously need to find some more draw. Like I said, we are going to be able to kill a bunch of his early threats. We have an Angler that's kind of a ways away from doing anything. He's still looking for lands. So he's pretty spell dense, which is not good. But he does have to mulligan, so that's good. I'll play the Swamp for now. Matron for Matron right here. See if he disfigures. This is going to be a chain of value, which we're going to definitely like. Next turn I can Matron and Flame Slash. Oh! Why did he do that? How rude. Okay, so interesting plan, but we're going to soldier on here. Just keep it coming. So right now we can't cast 4 drops. Interesting choice of strategy. He wants to disrupt my mana base. Well, he can't kill artifacts, so I'm feeling okay about that. Alright, well, that's not the best, but it's also not the worst. We still are doing okay. Hitting a land like a boss. And we're getting very close to Angler coming down. He's also missing land drops. So this whole ploy to try and Stone Rain me is actually kind of costing him. I mean, even though it's working right now, he's in some trouble. So, I mean, maybe he has Oubliette. I'm actually just going to go for the Angler anyway right now. We just ate 3 Choking Sands and we barely care. We are losing the Think Twice, but I'm just going to rock. I'm just going to let it rock. And if he doesn't have Oubliette, he's probably dead. And now he has a good chance of having Oubliette, but we'll see. We still got plenty of stuff to do. Looks like he doesn't have it. And I get to Matron again. So, not looking too bad here. Now we actually have to get some kind of removal spell. So I think I'll get Tarfire. I mean, we got all the removal. I'll just get Pilferers for a rainy day. See how that goes. And if he just plays a creature here, I think he's dead. His Choking Sands plan was not optimal, and it doesn't seem like it's going to work for him. So is it Oubliette, or is it a guy and you're dead? It's a guy and you're dead. Okay. It could be 2 guys. It wouldn't matter. So yeah, let's just go for the Flame Slash. And then if he tries anything tricksy, we got Terminate. He needs Tragic Slip to not die. And it looks like we might have it. So came back from 0-2 to get... Must be so nice to draw like God. It is. And we came back from 0-2 to go 3-2. And so we don't need to file the report. We're basically breaking even, which would be the same result if we filed a report. They're just going to reimburse me for the... You know, that deck is terrible unless you rip So Lucky. Well, just make sure you rip Lucky and you definitely will be just fine. Alright guys, that's going to wrap it up. We go 3-2. We had... Okay, let's actually break this down. First of all, I played like crap in a couple of the rounds. But round 1 was a very close match where a mere 4 seconds made the difference between us winning and losing. So that's a narrow loss that could easily be a win had I played a little better, played a little smarter, and actually even just taxed the opponent's clock a little more. I think that's definitely a win there. Round 2 was against Burn, and we had also some pretty controversial set of circumstances that happened, which was we disconnected right before sideboarding, and